What's up guys, RJ here, and for this video, we are going to talk about scuba diving. Communication is key, especially if you are underwater. But because you won't be able to verbally talk, you must know how a scuba diver communicate under the sea. So here are some of the hand signal used in scuba diving. So what are you waiting for? Let's start!
Okay.
The first hand signal that most scuba divers learn is the okay hand signal. Join the thumb and index fingers to form a loop and extend the third, fourth, and fifth fingers. This signal can be used as both a question and a response. The okay sign is a demand response signal, meaning that if one diver asks another diver if he is okay, he must respond with either an okay signal in return or with a communication that something is wrong.
Not okay.
Scuba divers communicate a problem by extending a flattened hand and rotating it slowly side to side, similar to how many people signal so in a normal conversation. A diver communicating a problem underwater should then point to the source of the problem using his index finger. The most common use of the problem hand signal is to communicate an ear equalization problem.
Okay and problem.
These surface communication signals involve the whole arm so that the both captains and surface support staff can easily understand a diver's communication from far away. The okay sign is made by joining both arms in a ring above the head, or if only one arm is free, by touching the top of the head with the fingertips. To indicate a problem, the diver waves his arm overhead to call for attention. Don't wave high to a dive boat on the surface because the captain is likely to think you need assistance.
Up or end the dive.
A thumbs up sign communicates up or end the dive. The up signal is one of the most important signals in scuba diving. Any diver can end up the dive at any point for any reason by using the up signal. This important dive safety rule ensures divers are not forced beyond their comfort level underwater. A diver who signals up to a fellow diver should receive the up signal in return so that he can be sure that the signal was understood.
Down.
The thumbs down hand signal communicates go down or descend underwater. The down signal is used in the first step of the 5-point descent, in which divers agree that they are prepared to begin to go deeper.
Slow down.
The slow down hand signal is another basic signal that only student divers learn before their first scuba dive. The hand is held out flat and motioned downward. Instructors use this signal to tell enthusiastic students to swim slowly and enjoy the incredible underwater world. Not only does swimming slowly makes diving more fun, it also helps to avoid hyperventilation and other dangerous underwater behaviors.
Stop.
Divers typically communicate stop in one of two ways. The first method, common in recreational diving, is to hold up a flat hand, palm forward, as a traffic cop would. Technical divers, however, favor the hold sign, made by extending a fist with the palm side of the fist facing outward. The hold sign is a demand response signal. A diver who signals hold should receive a hold sign in return, indicating that his fellow divers have understood the signal and agree to stop and hold their position.
Look.
The look hand signal is made by pointing the index and third fingers at your eyes and then indicating the object to be observed. Look at me is signaled by making the look signal and then gesturing toward your chest with a finger or thumb. Divers can also enjoy showing each other aquatic life and other underwater attractions by using the look over their signal, made by signaling look and then pointing toward the animal or object.
Go in this direction.
To indicate or suggest a direction of travel, scuba divers use the fingertips of a flattened hand to put out the desired direction. Using all 5 fingers to point out a direction of travel helps to avoid confusion with the look signal, which is made by pointing with a single index finger.
Come here.
For the come here hand signal, extend the flattened hand, palm up, and bend the fingertips upward toward yourself. The come here signal is basically the same signal that people use in everyday conversation.
Level off.
The level of hand signal is used to tell a diver to remain at the current depth or maintain this depth. The level of signal is most commonly used to communicate that divers have reached the planned maximum depth for a dive or tell the divers to hold previously designated depth for a safety or decompression stop. For the level of signal, extend a flattened hand, palm down, and slowly moving it side to side horizontally.
Stay together.
A diver places two index fingers side by side to indicate body up or stay together. Scuba diving instructors use this hand signal to remind student divers to stay close to their diving partner. Divers also occasionally use this signal to reassign body teams underwater. For example, when two divers are low on air and ready to ascend, they can communicate that they will stay together and ascend using the body up hand signal.
Safety stop.
The safety stop signal is made by holding the level off over 3 raised fingers. A diver is indicating level off for 3 minutes, which is the minimum recommended time for a safety stop. The safety stop signal should be used on every dive to communicate within the dive team that the divers have reached the predetermined safety stop depth and agree to maintain the depth for a minimum of 3 minutes.
Decompression.
The decompression hand signal is commonly made in one of two ways, either with an extended pinky or with an extended pinky and thumb, similar to a hang loose sign. Technical divers trained in decompression diving techniques use this signal to communicate the need for a decompression stop. This sign is useful in the unlikely event that a diver accidentally exceeds their no decompression limit for a dive and must communicate the need for an emergency decompression stop.
Low on air.
For the low on air signal, place a closed fist against your chest. This hand signal is not used to indicate an emergency but to communicate that a diver has reached the predetermined tank pressure reserved for the dive. Once a diver communicates that she is low on air, she and her diving partner should agree to make a slow and controlled ascent to the surface and end the dive by using the up signal.
Out of air.
The out-of-air signal is taught to all open water courses. The chances of an out-of-air emergency when scuba diving are extremely low. To make this signal, move a flat hand across your throat in a slicing motion to indicate that the air supply is cut off. This signal requires an immediate response from the diver's partner, who should allow the out-of-air diver to breathe from this alternate air source regulator while the two divers ascend together.
I'm cold.
A diver makes the I'm cold signal by crossing his arms and rubbing his upper arms with his hands. If a diver becomes excessively chilled underwater, he could lose reasoning and motor skills. Plus, his body will not eliminate absorbed nitrogen efficiently. For these reasons, it is imperative that a diver who begins to feel excessively chilled communicate the problem using the I'm cold signal, end the dive, and begin his ascent to the surface with his dive body.
Bubbles or leak.
The bubbles or leak signal communicates that a diver has noticed a leaking seal or bubbling piece of gear either on herself or her body. To make the bubbles hand signal, open and close your fingertips rapidly. You should then end the dive and begin a slow and controlled ascent to the surface.
Question.
For the question signal, raise a crooked index finger to mimic a question mark. The question signal is used in conjunction with any of the other scuba diving hand signals. For example, the question signal followed by the up signal communicates should we go up, and the question signal followed by the cold signal could be used to express are you cold?
Write it down.
When all other communication fails, divers sometimes find it easiest to simply write down the information to be communicated on an underwater slate or wet notes underwater notebook. A writing device is a valuable tool underwater. It can save time and increase diver safety by allowing a diver to express complex ideas or problems. The write it down signal is made by pantomiming that one hand is a writing surface and the other hand is writing with a pencil.